Now, after these things, the Lord tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains about which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took two of his young men with him and his son Isaac. And he cut wood for the burnt offering. And he went to the place that the Lord had told him. And after 3 days, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from afar. And he said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey. I and the boy will go over there and worship, and we'll come to you again. And he took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac, and took in his hand the fire and the knife. And so the two of them went, both of them together. And Isaac said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold the wood and the fire, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, The Lord will provide for himself a lamb for a burnt offering, my son. And so they both went, the two of them together. And when they came to the place of which the Lord had spoken, Abraham built an altar there. And he took the wood and laid it in order. And then he bound up his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. And he stretched out his hand and took the knife in order to slaughter his son. And a voice of an angel spoke from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Do not lay a hand on the boy. Do not harm him. For now I know that you fear God, for you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him there was a ram caught by its horns in a thicket. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering in place of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place, The Lord will provide. And to this day it is said, On the mountain of the Lord it shall be provided. Now when Isaac was old, his eyes had grown dim so that he could not see. He called to him his son Esau, his firstborn. My son, here I am, he said. He said, Behold, I am old, and I do not know the day of my death. Therefore go, take your weapons, your bow and your quiver, go out to the field and hunt for me game, and come back and prepare for me delicious food such as I love, so that I may eat it and my soul may bless you before I die. Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. And when Esau had gone out into the field to get game and bring it, Rebekah went to her son Jacob and said to him, I heard your father speaking to Esau, your brother. He said, Bring game that I may eat it and may bless you before the Lord before I die. Now therefore, obey my voice as I command. Go out to the flock and get 2 good young goats and bring them to me, that I may prepare from them good food, delicious food, such as your father loves, and you shall take it unto him to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies. But Jacob said, behold, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him, and I shall bring a curse on myself, not a blessing. And his mother said to him, let your curse be on me, only obey my voice. Go, bring them to me. And so he went and took them and brought them to his mother, and she prepared from them delicious foods, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took the best garments of her son Esau, which were there in the house with her older son, and placed them on Jacob, her younger son, and took the skin from the goats and put it on his hands and on the smooth of his neck, and placed the food that she had prepared and the bread into the hands of her son Jacob. And he went in to his father and said, my father. And Isaac said, who are you, my son? And Jacob said, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Now sit up and eat so that you may bless me. But Isaac said, how is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord your God has given me success. But Isaac, his father, said to him, please, come near that I may feel you, so that I may know whether you really are, my son Esau or not. And so Jacob came near to his father, Isaac. And his father felt him and said, the voice is the voice of my son Jacob, but the hands are the hands of my son Esau. And so he did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy, like Esau's hands. And so he blessed him. He said to him, are you really my son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring near to me, that I may eat, and that my soul may bless you. And so he brought it near to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And Isaac, his father, said to him, come near and kiss me, my son. And so Jacob came near and kissed his father. And Isaac smelled the smell of his garments and said, see, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May the Lord grant you from the dew of heaven above. And may he give you from the fatness of the earth. May he give you plenty of grain and wine. May people serve you. May nations bow down to you. You shall be Lord over your brothers, and may all of your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be anyone who curses you, and blessed be anyone who blesses you. And after Isaac had finished blessing his son Jacob, when Jacob was scarcely out of his father Isaac's presence, Esau came back in from hunting game. And he prepared delicious food and brought it to his father and said, let my father rise and eat so that you may bless me. And Isaac said, who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. And Isaac began to tremble violently and said, who then was it who hunted game and brought it to me? And I ate it all before you came in here. And I have blessed him. Yes, and he shall be blessed. And Esau, when he heard the words of his father Isaac, began to cry out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry and said, my father, Bless me also, O my father. But Isaac answered him and said, your brother Jacob has deceitfully come in and taken away your blessing. And Esau said, isn't he rightly named Jacob? For he has cheated me these 2 times. He took my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, is there not a blessing remaining for me? And Isaac answered his son Esau and said, I have made him lord over you. And I have made all of his brothers to be his servants. And with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son? And Esau wept and cried out, oh, my father, have you only but one blessing? Bless me also, O my father. And Esau wept aloud. And Isaac answered him and said, you shall dwell away from the fatness of the land and away from the dew of heaven above. And you shall live by the sword, and you shall serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you shall throw his yoke off of your neck.